paper, but you'll probably be okay because you're in person. Have you, oh, that is something I was gonna, okay, well, here we go. All right, welcome. Welcome, beautiful souls. My name is Sara Wolf. I'm going to be guiding you through the Samhain ritual, and the ritual to call in any loved ones who have passed and ancestors. And even if you don't have someone in particular, you could it's just the intention of calling in those from your lineage. Okay. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm going to ask you to be present. If you're sitting at home, if you could please turn your phones on silent so that you don't get interrupted. We're going to be creating a very safe and sacred container for these beautiful souls and spirits to enter and give us whatever messages that are intended for us. So I'm going to ask that you be really present tonight. Take notes. Pick up when we're talking about the altar stuff, whatever resonates with you and you pick up, please take it with you. If it doesn't, just leave it. Again, you can ask me about stuff later. Also, I'm going to invite you to utilize your beautiful voices and your throat chakra and get some energy moving up in here. After I say different parts of the ritual, sometimes I'll end with blessed be, aho, amen, amin. Say whatever you want, say whatever feels good for you, but I encourage you to say it out loud. Aho comes from Native American tradition, aho, and it means kind of like we give it up. We give it up to the wise ones, the grandfathers, and so it be. So be it. In more Celtic magic, Wiccan, you say, so mote it be, or so be it. Amen, amen, anything that resonates with you. I'm going to go over the 4 pillars of learning real quick because this is what happens. Information is passed down, like I'm going to do tonight. It's passed on, passed down. The information has to be processed and integrated within the student. The information will then be experienced, so it becomes experiential. And then and only then does the information become knowledge. You cannot go from hearing something or reading something and have it be embedded as knowledge within you. So that's the 4 pillars of learning. So again, be patient with yourself. There's a lot of stuff here. If you've never made an altar before and all the things I'm going to go over, you might feel overwhelmed. Just notice if that emotion comes in, maybe take some deep breaths and pick up what you pick up and leave what you don't. We're going to do a quick settle-in meditation. So wherever you're sitting, on the floor, on a chair, on a couch, bed, I want you to close your eyes and just maybe shake out the body a little bit. Shake out the arms. We're going to take 3 really deep, audible exhales. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth. Really get your vibration going. Feel your voice in your chest as you exhale. Inhale. One more inhale, everything from your week or from this year. Let it all go. Tonight is the end of the wheel of the year. So this is a witch's new year. Starts now. So that's exciting. Samhain, this ritual of Samhain was passed on to me from my teacher, Goddess Tara, and it came in handy in 2014 is the first time that I did it. And I did it because my mom passed in 2008, and a really, really good close friend of mine tragically passed, I think, the year before that. So I was still working through emotions and grief and, the questioning of why and the regret of what I didn't say and what I didn't do. So this ritual helped a lot for me to kind of get in touch with their feeling and their feeling, like how they felt when they were here on the earth plane. But when they came in, when their energies came in, it was so much bigger than who they were in their human bodies. So I'm gonna, I want you to remain open to receiving whatever is meant for you tonight. Releasing expectations of who might come in, because maybe you call someone in, but maybe someone else comes in because that's the message that you have, or that's the emotion or feeling. You might see, you might visualize, you might hear audibly, you might hear internally, you might just receive words, you might get a message later tonight, tomorrow, during this week. So again, be open to receiving and releasing expectations of what you think might happen tonight. Okay. We're creating a safe space and container, and all that will enter will be of only the highest vibration of love and peace. And before we end tonight, we will close the container and we will send the spirits back from which they came with absolute love and peace. So there's zero worry, absolute no worries to be had about lower energies or any other kind of spirits coming in. Everything, the rituals, the rituals that spirit comes through me to create is of the utmost highest vibration and with the thickest amount of love that you can possibly imagine. Okay, so that is not even a thing. Okay, so that's not a thing. All right. Um, Good. Everyone doing good still? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Beautiful. I know I sent out a long list of stuff to get if you wanted to set up a ritual at home. Again, it was not necessary. Some things that I did say that you would want are a candle, and I have little candles in here in here tonight because we typically refrain from lighting candles in the studio. We're going to light a few tonight just so you can see how it goes. But I ask that you have a candle, so that typically would go in the center to represent you, to represent spirit. A blue candle over by the water that's going to be a bowl of salt water, and we'll light that one because that's the candle that notifies the spirits on which way to enter. We always call them in from the west. They always enter in through the west. The west is water. It's associated with Archangel Gabriel, which is the messenger angel. Anyways, you'll see how it all kind of fits together the more you work with all this fun stuff. The things that, so I'm good for now. You probably want to sit down so you're not standing so long. Thank you. The the stuff that I pull from, I pull a little bit from Hinduism, Buddhism, Native America. Um, what else? Oh, Celtic magic. You trace when you're doing quote unquote magic or spell casting or ritual type stuff. My teacher told me you go, it's your medicine, your magic is based on your mom's lineage. And so when I asked my mom's mom, who was alive, she gave me this big, thick old red book, and actually can trace my very first ancestor people on the earth were the first druids and women priestesses on the earth. So Celtic magic is what I practice for fun. Okay, it's all for fun. Everything is always inside of you. All answers, all wisdom, all knowledge, any messages you're looking for tonight are already inside of you. This stuff is very symbolic and symbolic of the elements that we're all made up of: earth, water, fire, air, ether. It's the same. The whole universe is made up of these elements, and so are we. So you have all knowledge, all wisdom, all answers already inside of you. Sometimes we are stuck heavily in the illusion of the ego mind and the thinking mind that it is difficult to hear some of this wisdom that is inside of us. And so doing these rituals kind of helps to start to move that energy around, and it also helps to start move you from the right brain into the left brain. Right brain super logical, analytical. Left brain is open and creative and feminine and receiving. Right, feminine receives, masculine gives. Okay, so that's that. So I pull from a lot of stuff because it's fun and I just do what feels best for me. So that's how it is. It's not a this is what we're practicing tonight. It's just this is what we're going to do. And this is how it has developed for my own personal practice. Any questions? Okay. 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 So when you're setting up an altar specifically for Samhain, there's setting up an altar and then there's setting up the altar for Samhain. When you're setting up the altar for Samhain or for to call someone in, uh, they say the veils between the worlds are the thinnest right now, tonight, right now at this moment, and so that's why we are calling in loved ones and ancestors. So when you incarnate into your human body, you pass through these veils called koshas, and this is in yoga, so that's the yoga lineage. And so there's no such thing as time or space, and so every option in the universe is available. Quantum field, every realm in the quantum field is here right now. But because we are focused on the earth realm for whatever reason that we're here to do whatever, that's why this is all you can see. My first teacher said your guidance team, your angels, your council, your spirit guides are never more than a hair's width distance away from you. So they're here all the time. And these other realms are here all the time. Okay. But tonight the veil is the thinnest. So people, loved ones who have passed that maybe have been wanting to send you a message that you're not receiving in here yet, the veil is the thinnest, so we can call them in to maybe more clearly receive these messages. And also to get in touch with them in case we're still moving through some heavy grieving, which is not a linear path. And it takes the time that it does. And it might be like an onion where one layer of your grieving happens and you think you're okay. And then later you get hit with another wave of it. So know that healing is not linear because time doesn't really exist. Okay. It's multifaceted. And we weave in and out of this quantum quilt of doing stuff so that we can shine as bright as we possibly can and remind others that they are also diamonds shining bright. Okay. All right. So decorate your altar for whoever you're calling in. If you have things of theirs, flowers they liked, you can go to the extent of making food that they liked, like on Dia de los Muertos, which I think is tomorrow or it's on the 3rd. I can't remember. Anyways, they bake the food that their loved ones liked and they take it to their resting place in the cemeteries. So you can make food. You can put on music that they liked. You can dance around to the music that they liked. So again, take these tools and then for next year, maybe really make it your own and weave your magic into it. You can put pictures of them. The candles, let's go over the candles. So the blue one is in the west. You might need to use the compass on your phone. So you want to set up the blue candle in the west and some salt. And you're going to put some salt in a bowl of water. And like I said, this is to catch any potential spirits that you don't want to talk to. They're going to get caught in the bowl of salt water. When you're done with your ritual, you throw the bowl of salt water outside. Don't put it down in your drain. You throw it outside. You can also cleanse rooms and houses this way by putting a bowl of salt water and asking that any lower vibrations or black gray atoms be collected in the salt water, and then you throw it outside. So that's what that's for. When you set up any altar, and this is according to most of the traditions, or this is similar in most of the traditions, you start in the east. East is air. Air is represented either by feathers. This is my smudging wand. You could represent air with incense. So if I had incense, it would be in the incense holder. And I also brought this little whistle that I got in Alaska that they said is made out of a deer's antler, but I thought like whistle, that's air because you blow it. So that makes sense. So you can also use a whistle now, according to me. Okay. East air. And in the angelic realm, it's Archangel Raphael, which is the healing angel. The color is green, same as the heart chakra. And then you go clockwise. You do everything in clockwise when you're performing rituals or ceremonies. And it's because, again, it's moving kind of from left to right. So feminine, receiving, magic. Shakti is the movement. Shiva is the stage. Shakti dances on the stage. All right, that's a whole nother thing. South, fire, candle, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is bravery, courage, and protection. Color is gold. West, water. So I have a little jar of water here. West, water, Archangel Gabriel, messenger angel, color blue. Oh, did I say color of East? Yellow. I think in Native America, it might be gray. And I think in another tradition, it might be red. Okay. North, earth, Archangel Uriel, color either green or brown. And I also maybe black. So I have a crystal. And then I have Ganesh, sweet Ganesh. Ganesh is good at removing blockages. And let me remember this. The full moon is in Taurus tonight. And so I put Ganesh facing north to help remove any blockages that anyone might be having with getting grounded enough so that they can release with the full moon tonight. Okay, so you see how I kind of wove my own meaning in there for it. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on the elements or directions, anyone? Okay. So we'll call all of those in a minute. And then I just have any other crystals you have or fun things. I have the like star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pointed pentacle star that represents magic to me. So I like bringing that. I have another little Celtic stone thing up here. I always put pointed stones in the 4 corners of whatever I set up, pointing out. I have my magic dagger. Some other crystals for me. Oh, and my crystal wand. Okay. I have Palo Santo for smudging. Before you start any situation, you want to smudge the room, smudge the area to cleanse it of any lower energies or vibrations. I also use Reiki symbols. And again, you start at the door and you go in a clockwise motion around the space, wherever it is, however big or little it is. Have a piece of bread for tonight for the ritual. If you don't have bread or a cracker, Julie brought some extra stuff for the people here. So very nice. If you don't have bread, that's okay, because my body is also going to be representing all of your bodies and your intentions as well. So if you don't have any of this, don't worry about it. There's no such thing as time or space, and we are one. And so the magic that I'm doing here tonight will automatically transfer into you and your world and your situation. And so don't worry about that. So bread for our ritual tonight and wine for our ritual tonight. These candles over here are specifically for Samhain. Oh, okay. Now do you want to show these parts? Julie's going to bring you zoomers over to the altar so you can see everything a little closer. Maybe so on you're facing the altar. So on my left will be the archetype mother. So we have the white candle for maiden, mother, and wise woman. The triple goddess. The triple goddess archetype is represented by these candles. Maiden, mother, wise woman, or some people call it the crone. Okay. Over here on my right side is for the triple god. And I say Son, Father, and Holy Spirit, but they say something else in the that you'll hear me say in the Catholic world. Uh, it is the Lord of Light, the God of Success, and the Horned God of the Woodlands. So the Great Lord, the God of Success, and the Horned God of the Woodlands. Oh, and the Dark Lord. Yeah, I don't really know those very well, obviously. Okay, so that's that. And I guess you can kind of see all the other little fun things. Okay. All the fun toys. Like you I get to grow up, play magic. It's fun. All right. Okay. So that's all of the altar stuff. Okay. Now we're going to open our circle. So I invite you to, you can either keep your eyes open to see what I'm doing, or you can close your eyes, whichever feels more comfortable for you. And I'm going to be reading from my book because it's a little long. There are shorter ways to open a circle. I'm just doing it by the book tonight so that you can kind of see all the things that you could possibly say. Okay, so we start by holding up crystal wand. And I'm going to start in the east, and I'm going to draw a circle around the room. Okay, I start by calling in the sweet divine, by calling in all of our guides and teachers, all loved ones and beings charged with supporting us in this lifetime. I ask that you please surround us in a blue-white fire of eternal protection, bringing us into a place that is not a place, on a day that is not a day, at a time that is not a time. In between the veils of world, we stand with protection at hand. Thank you for witnessing this right and guarding this circle. And so it is, so be it. Aho. I consecrate this circle of power to the ancient gods. Here may they manifest and bless their children. This is a time that is not a time, in a place that is not a place, on a day that is not a day. We stand at the threshold between the worlds, before the veil of mysteries. May the ancient ones help and protect us on this magical journey. Great Mother, bless this creature of water to your service. May we always remember the cauldron waters of rebirth. Great Mother, bless this creature of earth to your service. May we always remember the blessed earth, its many forms and beings. I'm going to sprinkle some water into, or some salt into the water. Great Mother, we give you honor, and so it is, so be it. I'm going to sprinkle some salt also on the incense holder and on our bread. Great Father, bless this creature of fire to your service. May we always remember the sacred fire that dances within the form of every creation. Great Father, bless this creature of air to your service. May we always listen to the spirit winds that bring us the voices of the ancient ones. Great Father, we give you honor, and so it is, so be it. Aho. And then you call in the specific directions and elements. So that was a blessing of the directions and elements. And now we actually call them in and invoke them. And I'm going to do it with the dagger. And I face the dagger pointing in each direction that we're going to move. We call upon you, O powers of air, to witness this rite and to guard this circle. We call upon you, O powers of fire, to witness this rite and to guard this circle. We call upon you, O powers of water, to witness this rite and to guard this circle. We call upon you, powers of earth, to witness this rite and to guard this circle. This circle is bound with power all around. Between the worlds we stand, again with protection at hand, and so it is, so be it. Aho. Okay. So before we go into our actual ritual, I'm going to share with you where Halloween came from. So it's pronounced Samhain. It looks like Samhain, which is how I pronounced it for a while because I couldn't remember how my teacher said it. So I was like, Samhain. And then finally I figured it out. So Samhain. It originated in ancient Europe. A lot of people, you'll hear a lot that it's a Celtic holiday, but there's indications that it maybe had been going on for as long as 5,000 years, whereas the Celts only go back for about 2,000 years. So a little unclear on who brought it up. It originated in ancient Europe, and it was the celebration of the end of harvest season and start of the coldest part of the year, when the nights were the longest and darkest. It also was known as the Celtic Fire Festival. So the word Samhain actually means summer's end. So the summer has ended. We've gone through our harvest. We're reaping what we sowed, eating, celebrating, fattening up the bodies for winter because it's going to get really cold and there's going to be less food, right? This is how things worked back then. The veil is the thinnest, so in between the living and the past, moving from light into the dark. And this is really amazing that it's a full moon tonight, because literally the full moon is a release. So it's the brightest now, and it will be moving into the dark after this. So stuff is potent tonight. If there is a person, situation, emotion, something that has been going on in your life and you're wanting to release it or begin to get it out of your life, you write it down on a piece of paper tonight and you burn it outside under the full moon. And that energy will begin to pull it out of your life. I'm not saying it will be completely gone after this one time. It might take a couple times, but it will get the energies moving. If you think that the moon is strong enough to pull on the bodies of water that are on this planet, strong enough to create and influence the tides and the waves, and we are 80% water. I'm looking at Julie like she's going to tell me. We're like 80% water, or maybe even more. And so if we're 80% water, why would the full moon not affect us? Why would these big, huge planets like Jupiter and Saturn and their pull, why do we think that those wouldn't affect us? They would, but we'll get into that in December, when there's going to be some specific new moon ritual and full moon rituals, and we can get into the nitty gritty of your astrological sign and what to release and when and how and intentions and all that. But tonight is freaking magic and amazing. So write down whatever you're ready to release and burn it outside and aho it away. Okay. Summer's end. So this Celtic Fire Festival was typically done on this area in Ireland, and you can look it up, you can Google it. It's called the Mound of Hostages. And this mound, this is why they think this has been going on longer, because the mound it has been dated to be about 4,500 to 5,000 years old. And so this fire festival, or some kind of festival, has been going on this Mound of Hostages for 5,000 years. That's as old as Ayurveda is, that we were talking about. They say 5,000 to 7,000 years. So lots of cool stuff has been going on for a really long time. The time when spirits would arise from the dead. So it was a fire festival. They would have a huge bonfire in the middle of the festival. And because they had put all their fires out in the individual homes, the hearth fire that you keep going all the time, because maybe fire was a relatively new thing to man. And so they wanted to make sure it stayed on all the time. I don't know. But they would have this big fire festival, and they would light all the homes from that one bonfire. so that it was like continuing to take the light that they were not going to forget about into their homes during the hardest, darkest time of the year. Okay. A lot of people went hungry, a lot of people died, a lot of famine, a lot of freezing. So Fire Festival, that was one of the reasons. The second reason was because the veil was the thinnest and spirits coming across. Um, they wanted to have a festival to honor those that had passed and the ancestors, but because evil spirits could come over also, this is where the costumes started coming in, because they would dress up as other spirits or scarier spirits so that the evil spirits wouldn't bother them or wouldn't come to them or wouldn't attack them. So that's where dressing up came from. So that's really interesting, I think. Um, they would dress up to confuse the spirits. They would do other things, like the Druid priests would try to foretell if their crops and villages would survive the winter based on the fire, the bonfire going on at the festival. So it was a lot of like a witches' carnival, I guess. Is kind of how I think of it in my head. Ancestors were called in to help protect them from the evil spirits. So that's maybe where the calling ancestors also came in. And then Pope Gregory III, in an attempt to confuse people away from the pagan holiday, he declared All Hallows Day, honoring all saints. So that would be on November 1st, was All Hallows Day. But this tradition that had been going on forever, people still wanted to honor it. And so they started celebrating it on All Hallows Eve, which then turned on to Halloween. So that's how it came over to America through the Irish during the potato famine. That's how Halloween came to America. So I think this is really interesting. There's a story of the jack-o'-lanterns and Jack, a story of this guy named Jack, and he made a deal with the devil, and he was refused entry into heaven or hell. And this, they say, is where jack-o'-lanterns came from, but this story doesn't make any sense to me, because there was no such thing as heaven and hell per se, when that's not what the Celts believed. So I don't know if I believe that story, but they did say that they would fashion lanterns out of turnips. And then when the Irish came over to America, pumpkins were more readily available. And so the lanterns started happening in pumpkins. And now we have jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, so that's where that came from. The candy, there was something called souling, Souling. So the people in the village during the fire festival would also go souling from door to door to pray for the family's dead, in exchange for these little food cakes that the homes would make. And so this is where trick-or-treating came from. You would go from house to house to help pray for their dead, and then the home would feed you, and then you would go to the next house. So this is where trick-or-treating came from. We're not praying for the people's past loved ones anymore, and we're handing out sugar. So there's that. Still tastes good. It was still fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. Oh, good. Oh, good. This time of year, like I said, it's the Witches' New Year, it's the Samhain, the Celtic New Year, it's the Hindu New Year also. These festivals were really important because they marked the major points of their calendar. So Halloween is directly in between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. The fall equinox and the spring equinoxes represent when the days are equal. The nighttime and daytime lengths are equal. So that's what the equinoxes are about. And the solstices are when it's either the longest day of the year or the shortest day of the year. So it's either when the sun has its longest day or the night has its longest night. Interestingly enough, winter solstice is typically, I think, on December 21st or December 20th. Christmas is on December 25th, Jesus' birthday. Jesus was light. He was an ascended master. Jesus represents light. So interesting that the winter solstice is we will celebrate during that because that is when the days start to get longer and when light is starting to come back into our lives and into the world. So interesting that this man, this Christian man that represents light, birthday was also right around the winter solstice. Interesting. Interesting. It's interesting. It all just fits together. And it's really cool. It's really cool. We're flowing with nature. We are nature, we're the cosmos. So it just kind of makes sense that this is how we roll. Um, any questions on all that so far? It's a lot of information. Did you guys know some of that before, or was it all brand new? Or cool, cool. Oh, awesome. Okay. Mm. And again, being at the Celtic New Year and the new moon from this past year, what are you ready to release? I mean, I bet we all can think of like a list of things that we're ready to release that we're over 2020 of, right? Maybe if we all release the coronavirus, maybe it'll magically go away. Maybe. All right. And also this time, really think about, because we're calling in loved ones who have passed, what is your relationship with the birth, expand, death, rebirth cycle? Because everything goes through this. Everything goes through this. We go through it in our physical lives. We go through it in our relationships. We go through it in our careers. I go, I have noticed myself going through it with teaching and with putting stuff together. So really start to pay attention of how often you go through this cycle of birth, creation, death, and then rebirth. And maybe ask yourself, maybe spend some time journaling this week. What is my relationship with new, brand new stuff, brand new things, brand new relationships? What's my relationship with creation and expansion? Because typically expansion is uncomfortable. When we start to go outside of our box. I just moved here from, I had to think about it, from Arizona 2 months ago, and that was really uncomfortable for me. And I'm staying with friends in Issaquah. And I got real comfortable with my friends in Issaquah for the last 2 months. And I just found a new place and I pick up keys tomorrow for Lower Queen Anne. And that feels real uncomfortable for me because it's a brand new neighborhood. And I literally don't know anyone in town except for my friends and Julie and maybe now these two beautiful people. So it is continuously uncomfortable to expand. But if you don't move through that, I mean, we all do inevitably because you are nature. So you grow whether you're wanting to or not. But if you purposefully put in to your expansion, you grow exponentially. And when you learn more about your inner self and your healing path and being able to observe things like your relationship with these and how you move through the grieving process, then you can go through expansion with grace. And eventually, I promise you, it becomes enjoyable. It doesn't mean that it's not scary in some part of my heart right now, but it is way more enjoyable than it is scary. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be opposite. So all of this is for, in my opinion, we're here to experience as much joy, enjoyment, and love and peace as we can. That is my opinion. And if someone says, what's my purpose in life? That's going to be my answer. So, okay. So that's the history. Whew. Let's go into our Samhain ritual. Am I still on? Okay. I'm still on. Good. Okay, so let's close our eyes for a moment. when we are teaching or leading or doing your own ceremonies or rituals or healing work, communing with your higher self, your inner child, uh, you want to let it flow. And so we're going to close our eyes. You're relaxing the body. I want you to immediately be aware of your physical body and the space that you're in. I want you to now observe your breath, the breathing. Notice your chest on the inhale. Notice how the chest gently rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale. And just for the remainder of this ritual, every time you exhale, that is going to be a signal for your body to relax more and more and more. Bring awareness and attention to your stomach and your lower belly. And I want you to release tension, anxiety, worry, fear. Let your Buddha belly hang out. Relax the muscles around your eyes and your eyelids. Relax all the muscles down your neck, your back, your shoulders. Allow your arms to soften all the way down through your fingertips and your thumbs. Take another deep inhale through the nose. Relaxing the entire groin area, the hips, softening the legs all the way down through the knees, shins and calves, ankles, feet, toes. Notice any sounds that you might be hearing inside the room, outside the room. Noticing any visions, colors, shapes that might be going on behind the eyelids. Anything you might be smelling, tasting. And touching, maybe what parts of your body are making contact with the floor or chair. Taking another deep inhale, exhaling, sigh it out, let it go. Notice that all of your five senses that we just went through are working, operating according to their own power and laws. You are not having to force them to work. Your physical body is sitting here, and because you are able to observe your physical body, your senses, I want you to see if you can step just a little bit further behind these. Become the observer, become the watcher. Now I want you to bring your attention and awareness about 2 feet above your head. And I want you to imagine a beautiful, bright, white star. Maybe it's a beautiful, bright, white star, 5-pointed star, swirling around. It's pulling in the most beautiful, magnificent cosmic light as it's swirling around. It's pulling this beautiful light in, and it's beaming this light down into your body, down in through your crown chakra, the top of your head. It's beaming it down. It's filling up your entire body, your physical body, your mental body, emotional body, energetic body, astral body, auric body. So just allow this to happen. Really observe it, really see it, imagine it. You have this beautiful light coming down into you, all around you. This light is of the absolute highest frequency. It is pure, pure divine love, divine protection. And it's also clearing away and out any debris that may have been left or that may be blocking you from receiving messages loudly and clearly. So it's cleaning out maybe your ear chakras, your third eye chakra, your solar plexus, cleaning out every tissue, cell, bone structure, every single little bit of all of you. This white light is moving through, cleansing, clearing, cleaning you out, and it's taking anything that's no longer serving you, anything that has been blocking you, dark, gray, heavy material, atoms, frequencies, and it's just beaming it right down into the earth to be transmuted back into light. So it's just clearing you out, kind of like you got a divine beam Dyson going through you right now. Okay. So just take a couple deep inhales and exhaling, releasing that stuff down into the earth. Do a couple more. Inhaling the light, exhaling, clearing out. Inhaling the light, exhaling, clearing out. And then just sit, feeling a little bit lighter, feeling more grounded, a little bit lighter, a little bit more clear as we go into our ritual. Thank you, sweet divine and loved ones, for being here and protecting us on this ancestor night, Feast of the Dead, Samhain ritual. I light the 3 candles for the triple goddess. You can either keep your eyes closed, you can open them if you want to see what I'm doing, whatever you feel called to. If you want to stay connected, I would connected to who you want to call in, I would suggest keeping your eyes closed. Keep your attention inwards. I light the 3 candles for the triple goddess, the great lady of 3 aspects, glorious maiden, goddess of youth and new beginnings, dawn and the planted seed. The great mother, goddess of magic and plenty, love and knowledge. Dark crone, wise goddess of the night, death and rebirth. We welcome the goddess in all her forms. I light the 3 candles for the triple god, great Lord of many faces, Bright sun king, God of success and plenty, horned God of the woodlands, God of fertility and growth, dark Lord of the underworld, God of protection and rest, we welcome the God in all his forms. This night is the feast of the dead, the night of the wheel turning year that brings us to the thin veil. The gates between the worlds stand open this night. We honor our ancestors whose voices come to us on the whispering wind. All those who wish us well are welcomed within this circle. In perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust. Now we light our blue candle in the west. This is going to signal for the spirits to enter loved ones, beings, ancestors. As we prepare for you to enter, we know that we are protected and safe, and any unwanted spirits' messages will be lovingly guarded in the bowl of salt water. I'm going to take the dagger, or you could use your wand over the bread, food, or cracker. This is ancestor night, the night strongest for communication with those gone into Imania, heaven. Those who now dwell in the presence of the old gods, the veil has been lifted that we may now know we are not forgotten. All those who wish us well are welcomed into this circle. I ask all who have gathered here to join me in this feast. At this point, you would take your cracker or a piece of bread, or whatever you brought. Mm-hmm. If you had salt, if you had this set up, you could dip it into the salt again, because salt is for protection. And we're going to say, I'll say it first and then we can all say it together. May I always have good health, prosperity, and happiness. May I always have good health, prosperity, and happiness. And then eat the bread or the cracker. And then you take your wand or dagger again, place it over either your water, your wine, your tea, whatever you have to drink. May we always be strong in body, mind, and spirit. To the old gods, merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. So if you want to say that with me, I'll slow down and we can repeat it. So go ahead and lift up your cup. May I always be strong in body, mind, and spirit. To the old gods, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Aho. Go ahead and take your drink. And then traditionally, if you have any wine or bread left over, you would set it outside for the little people. So these are like the gnomes, the fairies scattering around. You can you can set out your food and wine for the little people, and it's kind of like giving offerings and helping out. Also, in somewhere that I read, there also was the people in the village who maybe were homeless. That food and drink was also set out for them. So that's real nice. Village takes care of all the people in the village, right? Um, okay, so now we're going to go back to the goddess candles. Oh, here, we'll cheers with you. Cheers. Okay. Goddess candles. The year the wheel has turned, the harvest has come again. We have sown many thought seeds since last year. Let the good be harvested. Let those that would hinder or harm us be cast aside. The triple goddess has covered us with her gentle hands, guiding our steps, hearing our desires. For this, we give her honor and love. And so it is, so be it. Aho. And now you turn to the God candles and say, the year wheel has turned, the harvest has come again. Once more, we stand before the thin veil, before the gates that divide the worlds. The triple God has protected us with his sword, guided our steps, heard our desires. For this, we give him honor and love, and so it is, so be it. Aho. And now you can just point it down either at the center of your altar or the star pentacle if you have one. Give us clear knowledge of the path we must follow. Hear my desires, O great ones. Guide and protect me. Lead me into greater knowledge and fulfillment. So we're going to say this again. And whoever you are calling in, you can say this to them specifically. So you can close your eyes. You can say it just in general. You can say it for your ancestors. And we're going to go in. We're going to say this. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to remain in silence while you receive anything that you may receive. If you are at home, if you have some of their favorite music on and you want to get up and move your body, you're welcome to do that. We'll remain in silence for a while, and then I'm going to allow spirit to guide me through whatever else I'm supposed to say tonight for all of you. Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can either put your hands over your heart. You can raise your hands up to the sky if you wish. You can just sit comfortably. Give me clear knowledge of the path I must follow. Please hear my desires, O great ones. Please guide and protect me. Lead me to greater knowledge and fulfillment. I am open to receiving your messages. Enter with peace and love. In perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust. And now allow yourself to receive. Trust any visions, any words, any feelings, any sensations. If you're receiving something, continue to receive. If you're releasing, release. If you need to pick up a journal and write, if you'd like to move your body in any way, the messages from your loved ones will continue to pour into your life over the next week. All love and honor to the great lady and her Lord. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. So if you've called in a specific loved one or your lineage, your ancestors, I want you to right now just dive deep into your heart space in the middle of your chest. I want you to dive deep into your heart space. And maybe ask your heart, what do you need from me right now? Take a deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. I want you to again reconnect with that white light, and I want you to imagine your body getting lighter and lighter, like you're floating all the way up into the clouds, lighter and lighter. Your breathing is becoming easier. Your energetic body is so light, so free, just like you're floating up in the clouds. And all of a sudden, the person or people or lineage of whom you've called in is before you. I want you to notice them, notice what they look like, what they're maybe wearing, what form they're in. And now I want you to repeat out loud after me. I've been waiting for you. I've been expecting you. Thank you for showing up. I know you have something to tell me, and I am ready to receive this, whether it be right now or by a sneaky message later this week. I appreciate your guidance and your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue receiving whatever you're receiving. If you're ready to come out of the clouds and back into your space, go ahead and float back down. You can start breathing to come back into your body. I'm going to call in extra blessings and protection from Shiva and Shakti. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Shakti Namaha. 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 Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth, sigh it out. We thank our loved ones and guides for convening with us, for messaging us. Thank you, Heavenly Father, Holy Mother God, for helping us to receive these messages at the perfect time when it is intended. Thank you to any and all beautiful, amazing, wise spirits who have entered into this space. We ask that you please return through the west gates, guided by Archangel Gabriel, in perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust, in perfect love and trust. And so it is, so be it. Aho, blessed be. Depart in peace, O powers of air. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Depart in peace, O powers of fire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Depart in peace, O powers of water. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Depart in peace, O powers of earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To all the beings and powers of the visible and invisible, depart in peace. May there always be harmony between us. Many thanks and blessings. The circle is open, yet it ever remains a circle. Around and through us always flows its magical powers. And so it is, so be it. Blessed be. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. But go ahead and blink your eyes open slowly, maybe taking some deep breaths, regrounding in your body. Use this moment to maybe write down, or maybe not this moment, the rest of your evening to do your full moon release. If you're feeling a little lightheaded, woozy, stay seated. Washing your hands can help cleanse you from the ritual. Any stones that you might have, any black, gray, brown, reddish stones are going to help to ground you, so you can hold on to those. Also any crystal clear ones or amethyst. What else? You can go put your feet outside on the ground in the earth. That will help to ground you. You might feel really tired after doing this. You might choose to sit and journal some letters to your loved ones who have passed or your ancestors. So you can choose to stay in this kind of moment. You might feel really jazzed up and awake, and you might have a hard time falling asleep tonight. So that's an effect. Or you might be really exhausted and you're ready to go to bed right now. And that's also an effect. So if you're just not feeling quite yourself, that's completely normal. If you also wake up tomorrow and don't feel 100% yourself, that is also completely normal. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there, right? I mean, but you're all in this ritual, so you probably believe that. When we're working with our energetic and astral bodies, a lot more happens than you know. So it's very common to also, if you wake up feeling kind of sick, this is a sign that you're releasing something. So go with it. Be gentle on yourself. Nurture yourself. Please reach out to me for any questions. Shakti Revolution, SHAKTI Revolution is the name of the biz. You can find me online. If you could please leave reviews. Hopefully I'll remember and I'll email you to leave a review so that myself and Julie can post it for our businesses, because let's spread more love and light and be the diamonds, right? November is going to be another workshop. It'll probably be on a Tuesday evening. I'm not sure what yet, but it'll be some more of a workshop type deal to maybe learn some more magic type stuff. I don't know. Spirit will guide me onto what it should be or what it will be. Reach out if you have any questions. Please stay in the loop. Please share this with your friends. Teaching virtual is something new for all of us. Attending virtual is something new. But because we are energetically connected, I still firmly believe that we can create a difference in this world, and we can create community together by showing up this way, because you are with me. I feel all of you. I feel all of you. I was sending all of you Reiki. So we are connected energetically. I thank you. Thank you so, so much for being here. I love you all. I love you all. Oh, is there any questions in the chat box? Does anyone have any comments or questions? No. Okay. Reach out if you do. I love you all so, so very much. Thank you so, so much. You don't know how much it means that you are here and that you are supporting Julie and I in our passions and our callings to be the light. I love you. Happy Halloween. Happy full moon. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night.
Halloween.